creepy cryptid encounters thread, doesn't have to be in a woods, but my story is. I'm going to apologize ahead of time, this is a fairly long story. Live in Wyoming won't give out any more location info. Take over Dad's old cabin, refurnish it and go in the woods regularly. My whole family used to go camping together all the time, but we stopped as we got older and busy. Not me. Always would go out to clear my head or just for some fun. Been saving up a lot of vacation time money to have a few extra days off. Ask around, all my friends and GF are busy. Disappointed, but fuck it, we can do another one some other time. Pack up my stuff and bring my German Shepherd / nigga Baxter. It was around fall, so it was really beautiful out. Baxter's happy, I'm happy, life is good. Get to my cabin, haven't been for a few weeks so I have to restock everything, but it's actually in pretty good shape. It should be. I spent a small fortune fixing it up. Spend the rest of the days setting up, by dark I'm cooking dinner and watching TV. The X-Files, the Flukeman episode. Want to get the Halloween / fall feel before going to bed. The next day Baxter and I are out walking the trails. Recently I had begun to walk over them and explore on my own. Dad always warned me not to stray too far, but that was when I was like 12. I'm a big boy now. We walk on, and nothing is out of the ordinary. Birds chirping, sun shining. Walk for a bit, and Baxter starts getting anxious, which is weird. He's usually fine in the woods. Another 5 minutes and I find this old stone building I've never seen before. Like really old, could be early 1900s era. Some of it's still standing, but I could figure out what it was. Either an old stone house or some type of mill. It was all overgrown and the back was collapsed. I decide the absolute smartest thing to do would be to check it out. Inside smells like really strong cat piss, also has some leaves and shit inside. Obvious signs of life are obvious. I'm smart enough to know not to fuck around in someone's living room. Me and Baxter get the hell up out of there. Unsling my M1 Garand, you can never be too safe. I keep telling myself I'm just spooking myself. Every little crunch or snap off in the woods has me on high alert. Get back to the main trail, when I hear a big as fuck snap, like someone snapping a limb off a tree. Only something very large could do that. I crouch and ready the rifle. Baxter get down with me, we sit for a few minutes. Figure we can wait it out. Completely expecting a bear to come charging, but nothing. We get up and walk on. About 50 or so yards before the cabin I hear it again. Don't crouch, but pull the ultimate dumb blonde in a horror movie. Is anybody out there? I'm armed, so don't be fucking around. In my defense, I didn't want to shoot some kids or a drunk hillbilly. But yeah, that was some Scooby-Doo tier shit, I know. Nothing. Double time it back to the cabin. Baxter is inside, sleeping. But I'm on the porch eating and watching. Nothing happens for the night, and for the next day. Laugh at myself. More than likely was just a bear. Go shooting / hiking / fishing and enjoy myself. Come back from walking Baxter and see a blood smear on the side of my cabin. Somebody tossed a goddamn squirrel at my house. Looked like it had been manhandled before breaking its spine off of my shutters. Assume there's some axe murderer stalking me. Stop going out on hikes and never leave my cabin. Don't want to run either, this place is mine and I am not leaving early. Next day it rains, stay inside and watch TV or read books. Realize I'm an idiot as I only brought scary horror movies and books and murder mysteries to creep myself out. Walk by the windows, always feel like I'm being watched, but that's probably just nerves. Have a gun in every room. Next day the rain clears. I get O2 side, because I forgot some folding lawn chairs, but whatever, they'll dry. All broken, every one of them. They were only like 15 to 20 yards away from my house. For future reference, this is when the shit starts hitting the fan. I'm definitely being stalked, I've been hunting enough before to know that. And whatever it is gave its last fuck a while ago and I was late for the show. Which is bad. But, I've got my cabin, plus my Jeep plus a surplus of firearms, thank you, based Wyoming. Which is good. If I had known how crazy it was going to get, I honestly wouldn't have stayed. We've had bears and shit before, and you Sally, if you stand your ground and shoot at them, they leave you alone. Sitting inside, reading Stephen King's It, because fuck it at this point, when I hear another thud, this one just to the right of my front door. I don't wanna open the door, I don't wanna open the door. Open the curtains, see a bloody possum still alive, somewhat twitching. Nope. Go upstairs to my granddad's war chest and pull out Samuel Goliath, his M14 he smuggled back. Load that sucker up, my .44 Ruger on my hip. I already said every room was armed, but that was just like a 9mm per room. Pack up everything else and back in my back. I was still thinking it was some maniac killer, and I didn't want to have guns everywhere if he got inside. Have all my guns/supplies in bags in the living room in case I need to bug out. Next morning, possum is still there, now dead. Toss it back into the woods, and yell something to the likes. Why don't you come out now in the daylight, y'all fucking pansy? Of course nothing. Since I'm feeling brave, I walk the tree line. Whatever was out here broke some more of my shit, lampposts that haven't worked in years, another chair, my fire pit. Fear is slowly being replaced with rage. Get Baxter, decide to test my balls in the water. Walk a little while into the trees. I'm a dumbass, I know. I'm officially the fat guy in the slasher movie that hears a scream and says I'll go check it out by myself in the dark. We walk for a bit, the further we go the lower Baxter gets and the more he whines. Don't need Cesar Millan to tell me he's scared of being in someone's territory. In the distance make out a familiar shape. The stone building from before. We've gone too far this time, Scoob, old buddy, old pal. See a tall gray chimney in the back that I didn't notice before. Shit on a dick, that chimney just moved. That's no chimney, and it's not Yogi Bear. Can't make out what it is, but it's pretty tall and slender and gray. Raise M14, yell hey. It sways slightly, then does this awkward four-leap and dash to the side into the bushes. Get possessed by Tom Cruise from Born on the 4th of July, fire off rounds like a madman. Think I hit it, defiantly heard a groan screech. I know I'm ripping off that Goldman story where he says it sounds like a cat talking, but that's the best way I can describe it. Don't know if I hit it, it could have been a battle cry for all I know. Fast walk back to the cabin. Don't want to run, especially if I'm being hunted. Make it home in one piece. Pack everything. I'm leaving tomorrow, with tonight, but I am not driving around in the dark. Not even the Alma was worth the shit. At the very least I am coming back with friends. Have everything. Repacking to keep myself busy when I hear Baxter growl. Not deep angry growl, like when the mailman comes to your house, deep back of his throat growl. Take out my .44, and walk slowly to the kitchen. Nothing, no monster, but Baxter is low and snarling to the window over the sink. There's condensation on it, but in one spot like something was breathing on it. And just to make sure my therapy lessons are worthwhile, a handprint on the glass. Stare at it for a few seconds, almost start laughing at how ridiculous this is. The print was too long to be human. Tack a pen and put in at the point where your finger meets your hand and see how long it is. Like that long. Rifle over my shoulder, revolver on my hip, I walk from room to room double/triple checking to make sure I have everything. Haven't seen the place this empty since I inherited it. I'm really just keeping busy. If I sit for too long I'll go stir crazy, and I had since given up on ever sleeping again. Had Baxter on a leash to keep him close, but soon took it off. Poor guy wouldn't leave my side. And I hear a thud. Again. Then another and another. Check the front, dead raccoon, disemboweled. Check the back. Rock. He ran out of animals. Check the front. Deer leg. He found another animal. Then I remembered we had these searchlights I had forgot about that you could turn on from the den. We used to play volleyball well into the night when we were little, so Dad put them in. I juggled with the idea. I didn't know if it would scare him off or piss him off, plus I didn't really want to get a good look at whatever it was. That's when I heard another thump. But this one was different. It was going in a horizontal pattern along the outside of the walls. It was smacking the sides of my house. My legs were shaking and I'm surprised, proud, I didn't piss myself. Granddad used to tell me stories of Vietnam, how you know the enemies are there, but you grip your rifle to the point your knuckles hurt and you wait. But how the waiting is the worst part of all. Fuck it, I turn on the floodlights, and walk to each window. And that's when I finally saw this ugly bastard. So I'm going from room to room, and I'm not seeing anything. I'm getting more and more relieved, thinking I scared it off. I went to the window right under where the lights were and I saw it. Well, actually I saw the dead deer first next to the tree line, all bloody and torn up to all hell. But I then see this thing. Now, I've read through a lot of creepypastas and /x/threads, watched a lot of those hunting Bigfoot/Goatman shows, and they all have a lot of similarities. 7 to 8 feet tall, red eyes, smell blood in the air, face like a gorilla and build like a brick shithouse, and I can get why people who study them think of them as some missing link to evolution, because yeah, they do look like some long-lost gorilla relative. But whatever in the hell this thing was did not. It was tall, not really tall, but I'd say around 6'3", and slender, long arms, those long fingers that will molest my dreams for years to come, but its face wasn't like an ape, it was more like a baboon. Long and droopy. When I googled pig related, it gave me chills to see it again. It wasn't colorful, but like a black reddish color that matched his fur, which was surprisingly sleek. Its eyes were yellow, probably the only relatable thing to the other cryptids, and the light surprised it, like when you turn on a light and wake someone up. It then glanced at me and we had a Clint Eastwood stare down before it snarled back, its lips showing the yellow baboon-like fangs. It screeched like a bat and did that same side-to-side leap back into the woods. I closed the curtain, checked the lock and curled up with my rifle until morning. When it came I made one trip with all my things and drove like a madman back to town. And that's pretty much it. My friends and I went back a month later, some of the shutters were broken off and there were some scratches, but aside from that it was fine. I've been camping since then, but only with large groups, no tents and not that deep into the woods. I told my friends and family everything, they all more or less believed me. I'm not the only one with a weird hunting story, though I'm sure mine is worthy of some sort of prize. I told my girlfriend's dad, who's an avid hunter, and he just shrugged and matter-of-factly said, "Yeah, shit happens if you go out deep enough," and then in the most deadpan serious tone, "Those woods aren't ours, not all of them at least." I've been looking into cryptozoology and into those Goatman threads, and I have yet to read about anything like what I saw. I don't know if I found some inbred Bigfoot or found some kind of new thing that nobody knows about. I've been meaning to ask around to a lot of the local Native Americans, they of all people would probably have a legend of it. It still bothers me how we spent so much time out there as children and never saw anything quite like that. Like it could have been watching us the whole time. I asked my dad and he's just said the same thing as my GF's dad. I still have yet to sell the cabin. Probably never will, but whatever. For all that it's worth, it can be that thing's home now. Be dude-wheat LMAO type of teenager. Basically fed up and want to do something different during my high school holidays. I was 15 at the time, this was back in 2004. Friend of mine invites me to go camping with him in this place called Il Hadumel, literally translated to Honey Island. During high season it's full of normies and families, but off season it's just natives and people who want to get high and abuse drugs. We obviously decide to go in the off season. Buy tickets, borrow tents, pick some weed for our stay. Had been there with family as a kid but never as a grown-up. Always stayed at the island's main hotel when I went there. It was my first time camping, so I was very excited. After a long day of bus plus ferry, finally reached the destination. Sort of worn out. have a beer and a burger at the island's only open diner at this time of the year. While there, overhear a girl speaking English. Look in her direction. It was a group of 3 girls actually, seemed like they were also there for dude we'd lol. They were talking to this rough, native-looking guy. Didn't look like they knew the local language, Portuguese. They seemed to be getting by speaking broken Spanish and trying some easy English words here and there. Seemed like they were trying to buy something or he was offering them something, drugs, likely. Too tired to try and strike up conversation with them, fuck it. Just munch my burger and light up a ciggy after I'm done. While friend and I are smoking, a boorish geezer approaches us. Literally, stay kid at us, not even joking. Yeah, what up my dude? You guys camping? Cause I know a nice, cheap place. We look at each other and basically think yeah nah. Then he says, it's $5 a night, open space only about 50 meters from the sea, has an outhouse and you can smoke as much as you want and if you need it we can arrange it for ya. Fuck, actually a much better deal than everything we had seen so far. Of course it looks like the fucker is going to rob us the first chance he gets, but then again this is how everyone looks in the place away. We were 15 and stupid, we accept his offer and go with him to the place. Turns out he wasn't lying. Quite an alright place, he has a small house at the place, wherein he lives with his wife. There's also a shed in the aforementioned outhouse. As we arrive, his wife greets us and literally offers us lizard soup. Lizard soup, it stinks but tastes good, or so she says. Nah, we're good, just want to set up our tent and sleep through the night. Okie dokie, we pay for the night and for the next 4 days. Smoke a joint and go to sleep. Wake up next day feeling refreshed. Smoke a blunt, light up a cig. Let's explore. Oh yes. Explore the island we do. Basically be out the entire day. Come back at night, quite tired. Rolling another joint when notice strange man walking into camp. Passes us by, doesn't say a word, goes straight to camp owner's house. Hear some laughter. Figure they're friends, whatever. Guy comes out after some time, comes up to me. You got a cig, kid? Sure, here you go bro. Lights up the cig. It's a nice night, eh? He says. This guy is odd. He looks like someone I know. It really feels like I know him but I can't quite put my finger on where I have seen him before. He says something under his breath and then pulls out a fucking hunting knife out of his jean shorts. You guys ever open up a lizard? Or a pig? No. Gotta learn how to do it if you live here, not much to eat, especially if you don't make a lot of money. Asks us if we want to catch some lizards with him in the deep of the island. Not sure what to say, don't wanna upset the guy, he looks unstable. Then he starts laughing. Just messing with ya kid, hey, gotta another one of those cigs so I can smoke one later in the night. Sure man, here you go ha ha. He leaves. Felt spooked but the owner of the camp assured me that's just how the guy was. He said the guy was married but lost his wife in some sort of accident. Living in an island by yourself does things to you I imagine, so we didn't really question much and just continued to smoke like a bunch of retards. On the 3rd day, it sort of hits me who the guy was that asked for a cig. He was the same guy who was talking to the foreign girls I saw on the first day at the island. I recognized him because of a cap he was using of the biggest football team in our state. 3rd day coming to an end. Really tired. We walked and explored / covered a sizable part of the island. It was sort of raining lightly. Friend had already gone to sleep. About midnight. I want to smoke another before I get some shut-eye. Rolling my joint. Smoke it. Pretty stoned. Go to tent. Sleep. Thud. Thud thud. Thud thud thud. Muffled noise in the distance. Groggy as fuck. The fuck man. Rummaging for my phone. Check time. 3-something a.m. It's still raining, stronger now though. Hear sound of a door opening. Hear dragging sound. SSSSHRRSHRRSHRRSHSHSH. Yup, sounds like plastic being dragged on the ground. Hear sound of door again. Gotta piss. Right as I'm about to unzip my tent, hear dragging and muffled noise again. Hear door closing. Quietly unzip tent, go out to outhouse to take a piss. While pissing, stare at the wall. The outhouse is made of wood and has somewhat large cracks through which you can see. Hear door opening. See same odd hunting knife guy coming out of shed, goes into the deep woods / dark. Sort of freeze for some reason. Remain there for what is 5 or 6 minutes. See him coming back up. Carrying a large bag, I swear I hear some form of crying from it. Can fucking see there's something moving inside the bag. Drags it to the shed, close door. Wait a bit. Wait a bit more. He doesn't come out. Sprint to my friend's tent, quietly tap on the outside. He opens up his tent. Go inside. Tell him what I saw, he thinks I'm fucking with him. We wait silently inside the tent. After a while, hear noise. Loud banging noises. More muffled noises. More banging noises. Hear guy cursing out loud. Door slammed. Sounds of someone pacing around in a hurried manner. Bangs the camp owner's door, sounds like it. Hear conversation. More dragging sounds and doors opening / closing. This keeps going on for a good 30 minutes or so. Friend has been shitting self for the past couple minutes. I'm just speechless. We're just looking at each other, not knowing what to do. After a while, noises seem to stop. Rain increases. It's ridiculously strong at this point. Just sit inside the tent without uttering a word. Time passes by. Rain begins to die down. Look at cell phone. Around 5 a.m. Friend asks me what we should do. Tell him we should just stay awake. Stay awake till 8 a.m. literally doing fuck all inside tent. Once rain stops, go out. Seems like no one but us is at the camp. Start packing our things up. No shits given, just pack everything as fast as we can. Leave before anyone comes back. Go and take the first ferry in the morning back to closest town. Thank God it was our last day there. We even left some money as a tip to the camp owner. Never bothered looking inside the shed to see if there was anything weird, never bothered waiting, never bothered doing fuck all about it. Just called it quits right there and then and got the fuck out of the place as soon as we could. Disclaimer: this is not my story, it was posted by someone on /x/last winter and I'm pasting it here from a txt file. Work at gas station. Little shitty box version, like outside department stores etc. The box I'm in is basically concrete, steel, rebar, and 3 inches bulletproof glass. Company spent a lot on this tank-like box. Pretty much after a certain hour and day, like 10ish, would lock all vending areas, coolers etc., and just sell gas till morning shift came in. At that point no reason to get out of box, all is prepay etc. etc. Q12-ish am, little old beater of car pulls up. Out gets old lady, Asian, with that 70+ short Asian tiny and furious look. Comes to window, surprisingly polite. Launch weird shite.jpg. She starts looking at closed coolers, locked carts etc. Like she's browsing at shite she can see / get to. Looks at me, oh the horror. Can't describe it well, but her face, it was like she had all her skin replaced. I mean the complexion, the meshing of it was all wrong. This bitch had mole spots on her hands, and her old lady dress showed me her wrinkly old legs as well. But her face. And worse, her smile. Ever seen those fuckers with the perfect / fake teeth, that seem to have no excuse but to give you a big look the fuck at me smile? That's this lady. So her face looks like someone copy-pasted it onto her. Her smile says look at me, I'm harmless. That shit-eating smile. Walks up to window. Starts tapping on glass. Ask her if she needs anything. Q fucking smile again. Says she needs to refuel. Ask her if she knows what to do. Replies with a dragged out "oh yes." Raised eyebrow, but okay. Ask her for prepay amount, pay type etc. She looks at me, "I forgot my purse, I'll be right back." Watch her go to her car, bend down into it to get a purse or what the fuck ever. She bends down, partially out of view. Bends down further, fucking gone. Can't see her. 5 minutes go by. No creepy faced lady. Time to kick it up a notch, says fear.ag. Scraping a door, soft rapping. Mind you, this door is the only way in and out of this box. Tap 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 tap. From register, stare with fear at peephole that's indoor. Decide to not look at murder hole of death. All of my fear in full effect. Then scraping on roof. Tap 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 tap. Same as before. Brain goes in overdrive. What if someone, something, wants in like in the movies? What happens in scary movies? Big evil what's it examines walls, weak spots etc. Oh shit, fuck me. Brain is making it worse for me. Decide to call office, in store. They can see my station etc. Let them clear my scared out head. Fucking jitters remembering this shite. Call office. How about this weather.jpg etc. Desk lady says, "What weather?" You know, the wind, blowing shite around outside etc. Anon. What weather? It's calm as can be outside. What about you know, I fumble. It's a beautiful night anon, relax, no storms lol. Her slight shifting / walking around sounds. Although, is everything okay out there anon? Why, I stutter into the phone. The western side lights are completely out. I can speak. Along with your back pole light. Pole light is the parking light that's in most parking lots etc. Only one near me for about, 40-ish feet around me till customer parking starts. Anywho. At this moment I realize my folly. The phone in little box was in back of box. Behind privacy niche, for counting cash etc. Look around niche. Where the fuck's the light, God? Only few lights on, so I can see in front of me at closed coolers etc. and who the fuck's there? Little creepy Asian lady. Her face, in that mismatched looking complexion. That fucking smile. Anon, I can't reach my purse, it fell. In my head bitch it's been 10 minutes. Anon, she goes on, can you come outside to get it for me? I mutter, can't, as you can see having electrical issues etc. Bullshit excuse I know, but I'm in full /x/ panic. Oh please anon, she says, I'm so old and weak. It smile. Sorry, can't leave, this is too big. Bullshit excuse about emergency etc. Wrong thing to say. Satan. Smile fucking vanishes. Come outside she says. Slight rasp in her words now. Can't, I stutter. This is where I cross over. This is where I fucking believe like Scully and Mulder. This little old lady. This fucked up face little old lady, maybe 5'5" at best. She stares at me with all of her fury. And she gets as close as she can to the window. And she slams her fist on it. Once. I mean fucking once. And grumbles something like, fuel of food, hodgepodge together. And I shit you not. Glass cracked. Not like hair crack. I mean crack. On one of my days off before, some meth head took a shot at it with a .38. Glass was replaced, but I saw it, was a good crack, embedment etc. This though. It was like this lady put a 12-gauge slug 2 inches away and fired. I fucking lose it. Pick up phone, call office. Say emergency emergency emergency. Cops show up. Night manager comes running, I'm in the back, fucking pale and waiting. Hiding really. Pound on door. It's manager anon, with police department, open up. Q hours later. And Q fucked up shite. Lights are back to normal. Cameras apparently didn't catch anything. Said storm musta knocked em out or something. Yeah okay. Then look at glass. Go home Anon, see you tomorrow. Manager cover shift, go home with cross, Bible, and 1911. Q next day. The box looks like shit. Scratches everywhere. Door has paint stripped off in streaks. Chunks are missing from sides of box roof. Like something climbed it. Manager says there's actually a hole in roof that is an inch from tiles etc. Squeak a yay sarcastically. Manager asks what happened. Says that police department may want my statement if it's suspicious etc. Nope the fuck away from him, say must have been weather etc. Manager looks at me, yeah. I think so too Anon. Switch to different department after that. Everyone asked me for years about that story. Wanting to hear how I was shot at. The worst thing is that I've heard that there was an employee who covered that shift after me. She stayed until last year, and since I left the company, I was out of touch. Visited recently, how's it going etc. They say she went missing last year. That she opened her door on her shift. And walked out the back door. The computer system went out. The cameras too. She's still missing. Fucked up thing is the guy working said the only lead they had was this fucked up beater of a car. That was seen briefly driving away from bank camera across the street.